Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us here today. My name is Lisa Hoffman, and I'm the Director of Marketing at United Help Ukraine, or UHU. Welcome to our November webinar. We hold an educational webinar each month to provide updates on UHU and the organizations that we partner with to help us further our mission. As you'll see in a few minutes, this presentation is a special one. Today, we're focusing on the season of giving, as fall and winter are traditional gifting periods. Let's face it, it's been a challenging year, and our staff and volunteers want to inspire hope within our UHU community, especially in Ukraine. The third winter of a brutal war is underway, and the holidays will once again be overshadowed by tragedy. Today's presentation has two parts. First, I'll introduce you to the Gifts of Hope 2024 program, and then I'm going to be honored to introduce you to two exceptional guests who will share their personal experiences as UHU volunteers on the ground in Ukraine. Okay, next. As our mission dictates, we provide critical support through humanitarian, medical, defender, and awareness programs. With our donors and global volunteer support, our network of help and hope spans across continents. Today, I'm excited to announce UHU's new 2024 Gifts of Hope campaign. We developed Gifts of Hope to give our donors, individuals, businesses, and corporations opportunities to donate more meaningfully and personally. Our Gifts of Hope campaign has three main components, and everyone is encouraged to participate in some way. This is an opportunity to provide Ukrainians with much-needed essentials and some much-needed joy this holiday season. The three components of Gifts of Hope are Giving Tuesday, our Gifts of Hope 2024 catalog, and our annual Amazon toy drive. Next. Giving Tuesday was created in 2012 as a simple idea, one that encourages people to go and do good by donating to a cause that's important to them. A global movement that inspires hundreds of millions to give, collaborate, and celebrate generously. In Ukraine, it's known as Щедрий Вівторок. Across 6 continents, hundreds of thousands of leaders and millions of people work together to change, and in many cases, transform their communities for the better. In 2023, in the US alone, over $3.1 billion were raised to support the simple concept of doing good. This year, Giving Tuesday is on December 3rd. We encourage anyone to participate, or everyone to participate in Giving Tuesday through United Help Ukraine. You'll be able to donate by visiting our website, our social media platforms, and we'll keep you posted through our newsletter. Giving Tuesday's donations support all 4 of our mission programs. And towards the end of this presentation, we'll provide everybody with the links that we're talking about here today. Okay, next. And here's our new Gifts of Hope holiday gift catalog. The gifts you'll find here. I'm sorry, skip over one. Next, please. Thank you. And here is our new Gifts of Hope holiday gift catalog. The gifts you'll find here are based on the concept of the gift of giving. It's an opportunity to honor your family, friends, clients, and colleagues by giving a meaningful gift that brings hope and resilience to the people of Ukraine. Gifts in our catalog range from $25 all the way to $10,000. And our curated lists of the most needed items for civilians and our defenders under each of our pillar programs: humanitarian, medical, awareness, and defenders. These curated gifts will significantly impact Ukraine. The program's designed for businesses and corporations as a turnkey solution for giving gifts and in-kind donations and helping out with year-end taxes. Most importantly, businesses will partner with their clients to do good together through philanthropy. Next. Gift recipients will receive a custom holiday gift card that's illustrated by a prominent Ukrainian artist, Maryna, and a keepsake ornament. Next. And now we're going to share some examples of some of the items that can be found in our catalog. For example, for $25, you can purchase a holiday gift for a child, or a box of hand and foot warmers for the Ukrainian winter. For $110, you can provide high powerful range flashlights for families in need of light during bombardment and power outages. If you can provide $400, you can provide a generator for the winter. Next. And here's some additional examples of other gifts in the catalog. A donation of $1,000 can purchase 5 laptops for Ukrainian children. $2,200 can buy 1 drone for Ukrainian defenders. $5,000 can provide landmine training for children. And a gift of $10,000 can provide 1 ambulance, including all the supplies needed inside. The catalog is now live, and we'll provide you a link through our chat. You can also find information on the catalog on our website, social media platforms, and communications. Next. Our third and very, very popular holiday program is our annual Amazon Holiday Toy Drive. This popular initiative allows buyers to purchase a holiday toy through Amazon for Ukrainian children of wounded Ukrainian defenders. It works kind of like a bridal shower list where you just log into Amazon and choose a gift. And here the gifts are curated as well. And this is our 10th anniversary of running this Amazon Toy Drive, bringing holiday magic to Ukraine. Last year, over 1,500 gifts were provided and distributed by our elves. Gifts should be purchased by November 15th. This program is now underway so that our elves are able to wrap and transport them in time for the holidays. Internally, with our volunteers, we love this program because it unites us all across the globe. All of us work together to purchase, pack, ship, and then deliver. It's a really uniting campaign. Okay. Next. Okay, keep going. So now I'm going to bring us to the second part of this webinar, which I'm really excited about. This year, I mentioned that we wanted to not just talk about how to give or what to give or where to give, but we want our volunteers, our donors, our supporters to understand the significance of gift giving in Ukraine and to understand what it means to the people of Ukraine who are working so hard to stay warm, to stay safe, and to defend their country. So we have 2 individuals here today. We have Valentin here and we have Michael, and they are both volunteers of United Help Ukraine in Ukraine on the ground who are here with us today to talk about their experiences. So introducing Valentin Koshelenko and Michael Primak.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Michael. Hello, everyone. And thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to be here with you today. I think I'll start first, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Let me just give you a little bit background, like what about myself and the projects I was involved with YUHU. So I have a background, well, in finance and accounting, and before the war, I worked for 6 years in property management accounting in the DC area. And I started volunteering with YUHU in 2022, and it lasted for about 2 years as of today. And the project, we had several projects with United Help Ukraine, and the very first one was connected with evacuation and providing temporary shelters and the logistic for those who, during the first days, weeks, and first month, had to evacuate from the area affected by the military conflict, by the war. The other project we were worked on was support civilians on the occupied and the territories that are close to the front lines. And of course, we did the most we could to support our troops. And mostly this was activities connected with the vehicles for medical evacuation, for logistics, and other various purposes. Well,
So you were on the ground, Valentine, and you did a lot of work shipping, delivering, packaging. I know you had a lot of experiences out there, and for our supporters and our donors, I think it's important for them to understand how meaningful the things that are delivered are to these individuals. That no donation or no item is too small or too big in what is delivered, and the importance of it keeping going. Do you have any stories to share with us, maybe of I know you mentioned you have so many of them, but maybe just give us one story or two stories that resonated with you, that will help everybody understand.
Well, first of all, this is true. Every donation matters, and every donation literally saves life. Literally gives light to those ones who stays in darkness these days, who need warmth in their houses, shelters, underground shelters, whatever they are at the moment, because the situation is really hard. I I do know that the donors probably, well, most likely will not get all the thanks that they deserve to get, but a lot of people are thankful for the donation. A lot of Ukrainians. So using this chance, I want to say thank you to everyone. I know it's just me and it's just one thank you, but I've heard it a lot from the people who received help from United Health Ukraine. Now, about the story, I have one, and it happened like just last week. And well, I have a friend who was conscripted to 129 Brigade, and unfortunately, last week he got wounded. He has his left arm shattered, and he's undergoing a series of surgeries at the moment. Yeah, but this is the situation as of today. But before we were not introduced to each other before the war, and we met and became friends during the war. The team in Ukraine and United Help Ukraine in the United States supported a lot of provided a lot of humanitarian aid to various platoons, various brigades, including this one. And among other things, we delivered the boots, and he was extremely grateful for it because it was exceptional quality equipment, and his mother was very impressed that even on those few days that he got from the front lines, when he came back home, he used them even then. They were great, and he loved them. Unfortunately, when he got wounded, he had to travel over a few hospitals because the first hospital couldn't help him with the surgery, and he had to travel for a couple of days. And during those relocations, he lost. Someone stole those boots, and one of the biggest tragedy, aside from the arm being shattered into pieces, is that he lost his boots. And it's not just he lost it. He says that he won't be able to find a new one. And, and unfortunately, yeah, I do know that on the warehouse there's no longer left those great supplies that I handed over to him maybe a year ago, a year and a half, something like that. So that probably that does not describe, like, all the humanitarian aid and support that UHU provides to civilians and to military, but this is probably the most recent story that happened that I can share with you.
So a pair of boots that changed a life. So
Probably.
To me, it's like every little thing that can make people more comfortable, whether it's hand warmers or even fresh water or a filter or something. Anything helps, and a good pair of boots.
In fact, as I remember, any big or small occasion, it's like everything matters. At some point we received those little pills that purify water for those areas that might be affected. And then probably a few weeks later, the dam collapsed in Kherson, and a lot of people were affected with this flooding, and those little pills actually helped a lot to a lot of people. So yeah, everything matters, and thank you everyone who keeps donating.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Valentin. We appreciate it. And we also, from our end, we appreciate what you do, because you're one of the hundreds of volunteers that somehow we managed to get it from point A all the way to point B and everywhere in between. And because of people like you, the donors and the sponsors are able to deliver what they want to deliver. So thank you for that.
Thank you all the donors.
Okay. Michael, tell us
Yes.
about yourself, and what you do and who you are, and
Sure.
why you're here.
Sure. My name is Michael Primack. I'm a trauma surgery PA. Real quick, I just wanted to go off of what Valentin was saying with the boots. It is simple things like that that make big impacts, because we're heading into winter, and things like frostbite and trench foot are very serious things, and a good pair of tactical boots can really help save someone from a world of hurt. My name, Michael Primack, trauma surgery PA here in the United States. Just to be quick with it, I had a lot of friends in Ukraine before the invasion, which is why I came to help. Through a series of connections, I ended up at the school that UHU now supports and essentially adopted since September 2022. So I've been training combat medics for about 2 years. And I've gotten to see the impact UHU has had on that school from September 2022 to when UHU stepped in summer 2023. And I can tell you it was, they made a tremendous impact. The school was getting a little lost. They needed funding. They needed funding for the volunteers, because getting late into the war, volunteers can only volunteer for free for so long. So UHU started providing money so we could give the Ukrainian volunteers stipends, so they could cover living expenses and keep training with us, so we could have a consistent staff and keep that institutional knowledge. Provided us with a lot of high quality training equipment. And one of the really important things that they do is they provide us with IFAKs. And whenever we train soldiers, we always make sure to give IFAKs, which are individual first aid kits, to every soldier we train who needs one. I don't know if we can show my screen, but this is, I have an IFAK I can show, but it's essentially a kit that has all the essentials for battlefield first aid, point of injury care. And it has things like tourniquets, chest seals, hemostatic gauze, bandages, needles for needle decompression of the chest for something called a pneumothorax, all these life-threatening conditions that need to be addressed immediately, that save lives. And it's important to understand that even at this point in the war, volunteers play a huge role in filling the gaps on providing equipment and training to the soldiers. It's still, so much training is still being done by foreign volunteers, by NGOs outside the military. So much of the equipment is being provided to the front lines by NGOs. And a lot of times relationships get set up with brigades, and they rely on support, reliable support from volunteers. And UHU has, from my perspective, in the domain I work in, has made a huge impact with all the soldiers we train huge numbers of soldiers constantly, from getting your regular infantry soldiers, the essential TCCC, tactical combat casualty care training for simple life-saving measures, to training full combat medics all the way to the level of giving blood transfusions. And these are things that they have helped support us and allow us to do. We also do training out in the field. We go to the brigades, we go to the soldiers in the East. I've done training in Sloviansk. I've also helped support brigades doing medical evacs and stabilization points. And really, hands-on, I see the need for the training. Still, the soldiers lack high-quality medical training. I saw so many mistakes, so many errors being made in the care being given that could have been easily corrected with high-quality training. I still get stories of soldiers having to use inferior tourniquets, Chinese tourniquets, Chinese chest seals, things that fail in the field in critical situations. So, and
So can I
yes,
clarify,
go ahead.
Michael, for those viewers who are maybe not aware, but the training is something that is offered through United Help Ukraine, and the items that we've been discussing make up some of these curated items in the Gifts of Hope catalog, the IFAC kits, the training classes for a certain amount of infantry. The only thing that we don't have in our catalog, which we're going to get, are boots. So we're going to have to talk to you, Valentin, and uncover what kind of boots those were. I suspect maybe we had a corporation that gave us boots in kind, or we were able to get, if there's a surplus or something that we were able to get them, but we will definitely try and obtain some more of those. And if and when we do, we will put them in the catalog or just make sure that they get to the right people. But the program includes these types of packages. So when you're donating, you truly are donating something that is life-saving, like an IFAC kit, or you're teaching people how to take care of themselves and know the differences between the different tourniquets and things like that. So I just wanted to make sure our guests understood that.
And I saw in the gift catalog vehicles, the ambulance is nice. Vehicles are always in demand at the front. There's a lot of wear and tear and turnover for casualty evacs to medevacs. So vehicles are very important as well for getting the soldiers from point of injury to a stabilization point, and then from that point to a hospital for more definitive care.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, because I do know that within our program, it's not just new vehicles that we're able to donate. Any corporations or even car rental companies that have a surplus of old vehicles, we can do wonders with old vehicles in Ukraine. We have the resources, not just in Ukraine, but outside of Ukraine, to help repair cars and get them ready. So we're recycling things. We find ways to make use of almost anything. In the catalog, you'll see an image of a blood donor truck, which came all the way from Texas. It was an old blood truck that was donated to us, revamped and sent off to Ukraine. And how many lives that truck has saved? My goodness, it really is miraculous how these little things can. Where there's a will, there's a way. So we find it. And tell me about the tourniquets, because I know we have a tourniquet that is in our catalog. I believe it's a junctional tourniquet. And there's things about that tourniquet that are special. And I've heard stories about rescues and really the value of that to both defenders and civilians.
Okay, yeah. So there are a couple different kinds of junctional tourniquets. There is a abdominal junctional tourniquet, which helps compress the aorta, which helps with life-threatening bleeding all the way down through the pelvis and the your groin area. Those are very large vessels. Not much you can do other than something that applies pressure over essentially your belly button. The other tourniquet, junctional tourniquet, actually goes in the groin, applies pressure over the femoral vessels, your femoral artery, as they descend into the leg. Those are very large vessels. They are not amenable to traditional tourniquets due to the location, and it's a very life-threatening bleed. It's a large caliber vessel. It bleeds very large volumes very quick. So it has to be taken care of quickly, and you have to apply a lot of pressure. So junctional tourniquets are life-saving. When they are needed, they are needed. Nothing else really works like they do or as well. They also have versatility to help stabilize pelvic fractures because of where they go and the way they wrap around the pelvis. So they can help stabilize bad pelvic fractures as well as controlling bleeding in the pelvis. So they are life-threatening and a valuable tool to have in a combat medics kit.
Okay. And another understanding is that with a lot of the drones that are out there right now, there's a lot of situations of blindness, but also we have a lot of defenders losing limbs every single day. And I think some of these tourniquets are also able to help out, and maybe not in the blindness, but in at least helping to save limbs.
They definitely can help with that, for sure. The thing that really helps with saving the limbs most is good evacuation, in which case they need vehicles, they need good train. They need to be able to get the casualties as quick as possible somewhere else, and to a higher level. They need training. Actually, to save limbs, the most important thing, in my experience in 2 years, is good training. The soldiers are scared to do what they need to with tourniquets. They are authorized to do things which are known as conversions or relocations of tourniquets to try and save limbs, but they're scared to touch them. Once a tourniquet gets put on, soldiers are really scared to touch it. And as many of you may know, evacuation times from point of injury to a higher level of care, at one point it was average of 8 hours. After 6 hours, there's not much we can do to save an extremity. There are exceptions, but once you get beyond 6 hours, that's when you start losing limbs. And the soldiers need the training to understand how to deal with tourniquets, how to save limbs. It's really it's a knowledge thing and it's a confidence thing to save limbs. I will tell you a statistic. 70% of tourniquets placed were eventually proven to be unnecessary at a higher level of care, and 1/3 of the amputations occurring in Ukraine are unnecessary. And we can train those. With good training, we can get that down and save limbs.
Okay. Important. Thank you. Thank you. So to close off with the experience on the ground, I do have one question. How have you, either of you, had the opportunity to ever sit down with individuals, take a break, talk about the relationship between the US and Ukraine, and just how people feel about any assistance that they're getting?
Mm-hmm. They're incredibly thankful. They understand how important U.S. support is. They understand how important volunteer support is. They have very fond feelings for America. As an American, they're always happy to see me. They joke with me. It's not very original, but in one brigade, my call sign was America. Yeah, so it definitely, especially as you go out east, having foreigners and Americans around, it gives a little boost of morale to see that, they like to see that they're being supported, and they are very appreciative.
Yeah, that is true. I do remember a moment of an individual who actually received a humanitarian aid, and it was a civilian. And it was a few days before I had to go and collect. I had to travel for a few days and bring back a little bit more of humanitarian aid assistance from United Help Ukraine. And this lady, she was not aware, how the system works. It's not that I go to the United States, get it in my pockets and return back. It's not that. It's just she probably knew that I'm connected with donors, with organizations somehow, and she just asked me to say thank you to those who help Ukraine. I said, there's a lot of people. I won't be able to allocate all of them and everything. But she was like, I don't care. Just say thank you to anyone you can. You can. That's it.
So it feels like part of us were a lifeline for them. And it's like important to make sure that they understand that people care and people will continue to care and people will continue to support and fight for them. So that's what we're here to do. I thank you for being here with us today, because this season that it is, it is giving season, and it is a tough year. We have had a tough year in the world. We've had a difficult year. I know overall, when it comes to giving and supporting, donations are down everywhere. And this war is going into its third year. And it's like people start becoming numb to it. So internally, we all feel like we have to be even stronger now than we were in the beginning, because the longer it lasts, the harder it gets, and the more support dwindles away. Do you feel there's truth to that? Do you feel that yourselves in what you're doing, or any opinions on that?
The Ukrainians are still strong. They know that they have to keep fighting. There's still internally and within the country, there's still strong support. The Ukrainians themselves will do their own fundraisers to support brigades, and there's still good support within country. They know they're in a tough situation. Yeah.
But every little bit helps. So we're excited about the program that we unveiled today, because it's personal, it's corporate. We believe we're doing the right thing, and we're providing the right items that are needed from everything that we hear from our partners and volunteers overseas. And we are always open to ideas from our donors and our supporters on things that maybe we should be including that we're not including. So we're here to listen as well. Are there any questions from anybody that's out in the audience today? Do you have any questions to anybody? I can't see the chat from where I am right now, so I don't know if there's any questions in the chat.
While we're waiting for the questions, I wanted to go back to the point where we are happy to receive any vehicle we could, even pre-owned. And I do understand that I'm not the only volunteer of United Help Ukraine, but from my experience, most vehicles we conveyed to the troops were pre-owned. And at this point, we have a lot of experts, how to, obviously they're technically maintained and serviced, everything is great. It's just sometimes better to get like 2 pre-owned vehicle, get them fully functional, convey to the troops, just than buy just one fully new and brand new shiny something. So yeah, pre-owned machines are great. Okay.
And so we have on our website, there's an email on our website. We're very easy to reach. If anybody has any questions out there on corporate giving or giving in kind, whether it's vehicles or diapers or clothing, anything that there's a surplus of on the outside, if it's needed, we will get it there. We will work to get it there, and we will work with you to collect it from you. So all the need is great, and the need is out there, and we really hope that you will support us in our effort to continue supporting Ukraine. So we're going to post different links to the places that we talked about today, like the Amazon toy drive, the catalog itself. so that you can have access to these things, and keep an eye out in your emails and in our social media posts. We'll be talking about different items and different stories about different people who are receiving the items. So we really want you to hear what you're doing and how valuable it is. So we continue that relationship with everybody. Well, thank you so much for listening to our stories, giving us a chance to talk to you about our new Gifts of Hope program for 2024. Please reach out to us, take a look at the catalog. If there's anything that you think that we should have in there that's not there, reach out to us. Give us suggestions. We're all in this together, so we appreciate everything that you do and say, and thank you for that. And thank you for being here with us today. We really appreciate that.